Let's foray into Nevada's wild spaces. This is a half-an-hour adventure with the Nevada Department of Wildlife. This is Nevada Wild.
Here on this mountain top, I got some wild, wild life. I got some news to tell about some wild, wild life.
Welcome to Nevada Wild, brought to you by the Nevada Department of Wildlife. I'm your host, Aaron Keller, joined with Bobby Jones. He's the Outdoor Connection Coordinator for the department. And special guest today, Logan Klonicke. He's our Western Region Hunter Education Coordinator. Thanks for coming in.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Had to drag you guys down the hall to get this one in, but we're very excited to talk about our big game application. But specifically, we're going to talk about junior hunts, application strategy, all the different things. We've been open for applications for a little more than a month, and I mean, it's like every night when I go to the ball field, somebody's asking me, what should I put my kids in for, what's the hot unit, all that stuff. Over the last couple weeks, we've talked to the biologist and the staff guys about like population trends and what looks good, you know, where to put in, things like that. Today we're going to dive in to junior strategy though. And we're all fired up about it. We've had to start this podcast like 5 times because I'm kind of, I don't know. I got my brain is going a bunch of different directions. So
you got yourself fired up there. We were just gonna let that flow under the bridge and not tell anybody. But I'm glad you brought it up. I've never saw it happen before. We've redone it once, but never 5 times.
Well, I think I was telling somebody in the hallway that normally this time of year, like when I get the applications in for myself, I don't really get that nervous or like think about the draw or anything. But my son is 12, and so he's in now this year, and so it's like I really want to do it right because, you know, it feels like you only get so many chances.
Well, you do only get so many chances.
Right.
That's part of the deal, right? Junior program, 12 to 17.
Yep.
That's your window. Yeah.
So you want to? I mean,
hey, I have a question based on what you came in with the intro. Is hey, everyone at the ballpark, you know, Huntley's down there playing baseball, and you're talking to the parents, and they're asking you where should they apply? What have you been telling them?
Well, it depends on the person. So, because there's a lot of people that like to stay, they're like, hey, I would just want to stay close to town, right, or close to the city. And then there's some people that I know like to camp, and they're a little more adventurous. And so there's a few different things. But kind of to your point, there is some like ground information that we want to get out to people about the junior program. Logan, do you want to tell us a little, like, do you want to kind of get into what the program is, or?
Yes, the junior program, it's a allocation of a certain amount of tags every year that get allocated for juniors only. A couple years ago, it was just mule deer, and then I think last year or 2 years ago, we added in antelope horn shorter, which is a great first hunt for a lot of juniors. So just a certain amount of tags for, I think, almost all the units in the state have them, so better chances for kids to go hunting.
Yeah, and I'm trying to ballpark it. I think the junior mule deer program has to be over 25 years old at this point, and I'm almost positive it's about a 25% allocation of the mule deer tags that go to support the junior hunt program. So it's just a proportion. Whatever the quota is, that chunk goes to juniors, and that fills out that part of the program. And yeah, like Logan said, the horns shorter than ears antelope started last year, and I think you were talking about it, pretty exciting right off the bat, is tons of good feedback from parents and kids, and like they're out in the field having fun, they're seeing animals, really fun hunt.
Yeah, and the whole junior tag program has been very successful. It's been a great kind of recruiting tool. Definitely positive feedback from parents that have gone on hunts, and you know, we've talked to people that their kids are gone through the program and gotten multiple tags, and they said it's like the best time of their hunting career is hunting with their kids. And kind of to your point, most of the units have junior tags, and there's actually 2 different types of junior mule deer tags, right? Mm-hmm. One is the classic.
Classic, yeah.
And that is the archery, muzzleloader, any legal weapon. And then the other one is called primitive, which is just archery and muzzleloader. And
Correct.
they're kind of spread out strategically throughout the hunt units. And
And the idea behind that being was to try and provide people with a little more opportunity. So more or less, right, your harvest success on muzzleloader archery tags is lower than any legal weapon hunt. So if they made the split from having the 3 hunt seasons to 2 and 1, then they could the department could offer more tags for the same amount of harvest. So just
Right.
trying to spread that opportunity. And I'm going to jump ahead really fast because I don't know where we're headed first, but you said it. There's a lot of people, and I'm guessing as a parent, right, your kids are in sports, things are going on, school in the fall, don't have tons of time. It ends up being a weekend or 2 that a lot of people dedicate to the hunt, so maybe they're not taking advantage of all those seasons anyways. But what I would encourage people to do, just looking at kind of the hunt data and what people are doing, application data, is a lot of people just apply for the unit closest to them that they've been told. So for people in Reno, it's Mount Rose, 194, 196. Maybe they have a second choice, but usually it's just that. And there's a small handful of tags for that unit, and tons of people, hundreds of kids are applying for that. So it's a really easy way to not go.
right.
And I don't know, I'm going to encourage parents to make a weekend trip out of it, at least have a few choices, but, if at all possible, fill up your choices.
Right. Even if you think about within 1 hour of drive of Reno, your odds go quite a bit higher
For sure.
to draw.
Yeah, just getting out to Fallon, a little past Fallon, a lot of better odds of drawing a tag.
Yeah, and I guess we should even take a step back for people. If this is going to a parent, they've got a 12-year-old, they've never gone through this process before. In Nevada, we have a bonus point system. For every year that you apply and are unsuccessful for a hunt, you accrue a bonus point. They compound over time and give you much better odds in the future. But taking, for example, you're starting out with none, you've kind of got one shot at it. But in Nevada, what's unique compared to most states is you're given 5 hunt choices for any hunt. And your application, when it comes up in the system, each choice is assessed before moving on to the next applicant. So Huntley Keller applies. He's got 5 deer choices. It goes to the first one. Hey, his application came up. Hey, do we have any tags for the first choice? No, we're moving to the second choice. Hey, do we have any tags for the second choice? No, moving to the third choice, and so on and so forth. So all of your choices get looked at before moving to the next applicant. So just for people to know, like, that's how you end up getting your third or fourth or fifth choice. Was there weren't tags available for your first couple choices, but there were at whatever you were awarded at. It's kind of how that shakes out.
Right, and that's the same for juniors and adults. Like
It's
if you're a
for
parent,
everybody.
it's for everybody. It's first through fifth choice, then moves on to the next person. So when you're unsuccessful, it means that you've had choices that have already been allocated. And
Yep.
sorry about your luck.
Yeah, and when we say the junior hunt gets 25% of the tags, that's a good point, because I know parents want to apply with their kids, and I'm going to tell them, don't do that. Let them apply in their own, only because if you apply as a party with a junior, then there have to be tags available for you as an adult. Everybody in the party has to be able to be given a tag when you come up in the application. So it's just a lot harder to draw. So if you want to take advantage of the junior hunt program, let them apply maybe with another junior if you want to have a group of people go, but avoid the parent applying with the junior.
Yeah, it's a hot tip for sure. And then Logan, you've been teaching some big game application strategy and seminars and some really cool stuff. I went to one of them. We talked about it a little bit on one of the last podcasts. But any like frequently asked questions that you get at the seminars that you'd want to throw out?
Yeah, I get asked a ton. Even I help a lot of people put in for tags when they come into the office, and it's still surprising how many people don't use all 5 choices, or they're in a crazy order. So the main thing I've been telling a lot of people is how to rank their choices. You want your hardest to draw tag to be one of your first or second choices, then easiest draw tag is your last choice. So if there's a unit that you want that has 10 tags, that better be your first or second choice. If it's your fifth choice, you're never going to see it. Whereas if you have a unit, say Area 10 with a lot of tags, as your first choice, you're not even going to get ran through for your fourth through fifth choices. So putting lesser tags or more desirable hunts up top, easier to draw, maybe less desirable towards the end of your application. And make sure you use all 5 choices.
Yeah, so similar to what Bobby was saying, have all 5 choices because they're going to go through 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And if you only have 3 places you want to hunt, that's fine, but just make sure they're in the correct order, so they don't draw that easy to draw hunt when you might. And I mean, it's strategy as far as putting in. Like we work really in the weeds on some of this stuff, but some people just want to go hunt a certain area, right? And so maybe looking at putting in some of the primitive or the classic or whatever combination, but just make sure you put those in order as well, so you can hunt the unit you want, but the right order.
That's another big one I get to is, can I do all 3 weapon classes for a unit? Absolutely. That just counts as 3 choices.
Right.
So if you're typically rifle tags or any legal weapons will be harder, so put that up top, followed by muzzleloader, then archery.
Yeah. I was just making a little list here because I was thinking about what Logan was talking about when he said crazy order. It's not crazy to the person putting it in, right? They're not thinking in terms of odds, quotas, demand. But there are at least 3 places I could think of off the top of my head that you could go on the top 10 resources and do your own homework. One is Hunt NV, and it will rank the how hard tags are relative to one another versus the other hunts. That's one way to figure out kind of demand for the hunt.
Yep.
You know, and if it's the hardest, that would be your first of the list, and one that's ranked 45 out of 50, that would be near your bottom. Another thing you can look at is the bonus point tables. They give you an idea of what people are applying for with how many points and who's drawing the tags.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third is there's an Excel file on the top 10 resources when you click into the hunt stats, and it's 2025 Nevada big game hunt data, and it's a huge Excel file with a bunch of drop downs that you can click through, but you can look at the demand, the unique number of apps for each hunt, and those kinds of things. You can also look at the draw rate and just compare those to one another. But those are a bunch of different ways that if you just use one of those things to kind of rank out the hunts that you're looking at, you can figure out more or less which ones are going to be on the hard to draw side and which ones are going to be easier, and how to kind of go through those choices.
Yeah, and then you can also find all that information on NDOW.org, and then if you hover on hunting, and you should be able to get to the top 10 resources from there on the drop downs at the top of our website. We're trying to make that stuff a little more accessible to people that are looking for it. It is still kind of in the weeds on that. I mean, if you can get a little overwhelmed. So if you have any questions, give us a call. We have people ready to answer your questions. Like Logan said, you can come in our office, and we'll help you apply. We have laptops in the lobby, and that's for all 3 of our regional offices, Elko and Vegas. What about somebody that's on the eastern side of the state? Are there any hot tips that you'd give them as far as juniors?
I feel like they're at a big advantage, right? And it just has to do with water and where some of our bigger populations are. If you're in somewhere between Elko and Ely or anywhere on that kind of eastern, northeastern part of the state, we just have a lot more big game hunting resources, right? So if you want to go to the big 6 unit or 7 or 10, they're all in pretty decent shape as far as I know. I mean, just you have more options, or if you're in the Ely area, I mean, all those hunts are great. I know it's, known for elk, but I'm sure there's lots of young deer hunters there having a great time, like applying for those units. But just a lot more options. I'm thinking of the big hubs, right? Vegas and Reno, and just trying to encourage people to look at traveling a little bit or being open to it. And if not, and you're okay going for a number of years without a tag, that's okay. It just, if you're a junior, you really want to take advantage of being in the junior hunt program. I mean, it's just such a fun time. I was thinking about this driving in, was that the experiences that you have at 12 and 14 and 15 in these different ages, like, they're huge. And core memories, get a deer, don't get a deer. Like,
miss.
I mean, I just remember, yeah, there's so many things that I remember growing up. Like, it's really formative, right? Like, that's where you learn all the lessons. That's where you figure out all the stuff. Like, I just remember being sent off, like, okay, walk down that ridge. Like, we'll see you at the bottom, right? And I'm 12
yeah.
or I'm 14 or whatever. And just experiences of just learning how to do the stuff and having a great time.
So as a guy that's in the weeds and really into the details on draw odds and like what you should be putting and how you should be ordering your choices, like can you give us an example of like so and maybe explain draw odds and why you maybe want to spread them out a little bit or stratify your choices a little bit? Can you explain that like
As
quick?
basically as possible.
Yeah, as easy as possible. I mean,
So
it's a lot.
we tried to think through an example for you and say, like Huntley is thinking about applying. He's 12. He's willing to hunt with different hunt seasons. So I put this short list together. As your first choice, say you're applying with no points, 194, 196, any legal weapon, you're looking at about a 1% chance, 1 to 2% chance, depending on what, odds, tools, type information you're looking at.
Right.
So that at the top of your list that's in case you draw a great number.
Right.
Right. And it can happen and people do it and you might as well, shoot for the moon. That's close to home. Totally fun hunt. Second choice I have on here, 195 classic. So you get all the seasons. It's hard to draw, but not quite as hard. Say it's 7 to 10% in that ballpark. Third choice, traveling, going to Area 7. Any legal weapon hunt, and I've got that at about 32, 35%. And I'm going to click through the other two, and I'll come back to the numbers and why they're relevant. Traveling, not quite as far, maybe a little bit harder of a hunt, but 17, any legal weapon hunt, fourth choice, almost 80%. And then fifth choice, 7, primitive, which we had leftover tags last year, so I would expect that you draw that if you didn't draw any of the other choices 100% of the time or pretty close to it. And the reason you hear those numbers kind of stratified is that you're trying to take advantage of all 5 choices is more or less all that's doing. So if you hit a great number or you're really close to the front of the line, maybe you get your first or second choice. Maybe you get a better than average number and you hit your third choice. And how I like to think about these things in terms of the probability is each one of these eats up a little bit of the next one. So even though I say 80% for your fourth choice, 171, 173, any legal weapon hunt, there's a chance you draw each one of your first choices. So really, if your third choice is about 30% and your fourth choice is about 80%, you've only got about a 40% chance of drawing your fourth choice because it's been eaten up by all those other choices, right? But it's just a probability game, and spreading them out gives you chances at each one of those kind of tiers to get as good of a tag as possible, assuming that you like that order, right? That you want to go on all those hunts. But if you put your 7 primitive weapon hunt second choice, you're never drawing the other choices. You're getting either your first or your second choice because there were leftover tags. So that's the value of putting the easy to draw tags later, because if you put them high, or say you just put it first choice, pretty much your next 4 choices mean nothing, because as soon as the application comes up and goes, oh yeah, we have primitive weapon tags in Area 7, you're getting that tag.
Right, that's the importance of ordering them.
Yep.
And to Logan's point earlier, you don't want to put a, like, air quotes, first choice, like as your third choice, because those are usually gone by the time they get there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you'd also have to have all harder choices in front of it for it to matter. And somebody's driving down the road listening to this, and I just spouted off a bunch of numbers, but you don't have to think about it in numbers, right? Mm-hmm. If you have a medium choice in your third slot and an easy choice in your fifth slot, that's what we're talking about. But if you put the easiest choice first, you're never going to get to choice 2 through 4. And if that's where you want to go the most, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's just you can kind of take a couple different views at it, and at the end of the day, you want to be happy where you're going, or where you might be going. I just like to encourage people, especially thinking about the juniors, take advantage of how many tags there are. Try and go a few times, like experience a new unit, like have an adventure, even if it's a weekend, even if it snows and you're cold. Like that's fun stuff. Kids need that.
Right.
I need that.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a, I don't know why you're asking me the questions. What are you thinking about? Like, how have you started to settle this out? Or are you still nervous and trying to work through it?
Yeah, I mean, I ultimately want a tag for him, not necessarily for me, but he's super excited. He's glad to be a part of the process and all the different things, and so yeah, we're probably gonna we're gonna do pretty aggressive as far as his first couple choices, but then after that, we're probably gonna be pretty open to whatever, and hopefully he gets a tag, and if he doesn't, then we'll be one of the ones in the second draw or the first come first serve, and to I think Logan might have said it earlier, but your juniors are allowed one or the other.
I don't know if we got to it yet. I think you got to
Not
explain
yet.
it.
Yeah, so one or the other is you either get a deer tag or you get a horn shorter ears antelope junior tag, but you can't have both this year. Last year they were only able to get both, and in an effort to kind of get more kids successful in the draw and out in the field, they decided to kind of split the programs and make them two different draw categories, I guess, or that. So your deer is going to be drawn first, and if you're successful in the deer, it'll kick your horn shorter ears antelope application out.
We should say that's specifically just for the junior tags,
That's
right?
just
if
junior.
you
Yeah.
if you draw a junior mule deer and horns longer than ears antelope, that's perfectly good. It's just for the junior hunts.
Yep. And so, but there is a little bit of strategy there. If you would rather have the antelope tag, like you can maybe shoot for the moon on the deer. If you get it, great. If you don't, you get pretty good chance to get antelope tag. There's other opportunity. You might be able to pick up deer tag later.
Yeah, and if I could tell anybody anything, if you're applying for junior tags this year, with this scenario where you're only going to get one, a lot of kids are going to be applying. If they're applying for both, a lot of kids are going to get a tag this year. The vast majority of kids will get a tag.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, that's the looking at the numbers and trying to. I mean, the systems. I mean, it's not 1-to-1, but we are trying to, trying to make the most out of the opportunity we have, and I think it's great in that way. I mean, it is selfishly, it is a little bit of a bummer that Huntley wasn't in last year because 2 tags last year, but it is what it is. So we're just gonna.
And you said the strategy, but for people, just so they know, we should say you only get one in the draw. But if there's anything available in the second draw or first come first serve, you can pick up another tag that way, another junior tag that way.
Yeah, you don't only get one tag; you just get one in the main draw. After that, it's free. I don't know what you want to call it. They can get whatever.
And that's just for the junior program, but we probably should get into, hey, don't just apply for the junior tags. If you're applying as a junior, there's tons of other hunting opportunities that are ripe for the picking.
Yeah,
we helped getting started.
Yeah, we helped a buddy apply a couple days ago, and it was funny. We were giving him a hard time because he came in and we helped him through his application. But one of the things that stood out to all of us was we were joking with him and we said, "Hey, are you gonna apply for this or that?" And he was like, "Of course I am. Why wouldn't I?" Or he was like, "We're like, you're just not gonna just apply for points, are you?" And he said, "No, we want to go hunting." Yeah. And that's the point. Is like you have to apply to get the tag. If you just apply for bonus points, you're not. I mean, you're 100% not going to get the tag, right? So your odds, like you might as well put in and take a shot, and if you get the tag, go try for it.
Yeah, and you have the best experience with this because a couple years ago when we first had the moose hunt, it went to a 12-year-old.
Right, we had a 12-year-old family friend that I knew draw the tag. It was one of the best experiences for him, his family, and I mean, great example of like everybody has a chance.
Yeah, and just to the idea of, hey, I don't know if they're ready for this, or if you thought that way for the moose tag, right? He doesn't get the moose tag, but there's so few and it's so hard to draw. I would just encourage people to apply for the tag and figure it out.
If
but
you get it, figure it out.
You want to go.
Yeah, we after crunching some of the numbers, I mean, we had a guy that drew a Rocky tag last year with 1 point. I mean, some people are going to hate that. Some people are, I mean, we're like, Heck yeah.
That's incredible.
It's incredible.
It
His
actually
odds.
shows you have a chance no matter what.
And his odds of drawing that with 1 point are, lack of a better term, worse than drawing the moose tag.
Yeah.
Like his odds of drawing that are pretty way out there. But it's the same with anything. Like if you don't shoot your shot, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, little luck goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, even worst case scenario, if for whatever reason, like, hey, we're not doing anything these months this year, but we're applying for tags for the first time, buy a point for all the stuff you might want to hunt in the future because it's not going to hurt you at all. Only going to help you.
Yeah, I mean, worst case is, you apply for points and next year you have a good point going into the draw, or into the application. So anybody that's listening and they haven't got their kids into hunter education yet, can we talk about that, Logan? Because I know that we've been chatting about that.
Yeah. So for the hunter safety program, we stacked the bulk of the classes from January 1 to May 9th this year. This Saturday will be the last weekend before the main draw closes to get a hunter ed class in. So make sure you got your workbook done or the online program done. Then make sure you get into this Saturday here at Valley Road. And there are plenty of seats open for it. So come in, walk in. If you haven't done hunter safety, this will be your last chance before the main draw. We will have a couple more for the second draw. I don't remember when the second draw is scheduled, but we'll have them periodically throughout the rest of the year if you don't make it for the application. But yeah, January 1 to mid-May usually.
Yeah, so we're still stacking in classes statewide.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the other coordinators. They have classes with seats available right in Reno, Vegas, Elko, all over. Just go to NDOW.org and then just click on outdoor education and you'll be able to find our calendar and then just pick on the first class that you can make.
Yep.
My point was like there's still time. You can get the online version or come pick up a workbook and get it done. It does take a little bit of work on the kids, but it's a couple nights of working on it and you're good to go. You could definitely get it done by the weekend and jump in that class and be done. Classes are super fun. If I was a parent listening, definitely go to the class with your kid. Show support for them, get them excited, and then apply. I don't think we really set it, but the application deadline is May 13th at 11 p.m. Pacific.
It's never too late to apply.
Yeah, we'll be on helping people get applications in right up until 11 p.m. When it closes. Also, if you're a non-resident, the junior tags are not for non-resident youth, but we have all sorts of opportunities, and actually our license is only $15 for non-resident youth, so it's really easy for them to get in and start applying in Nevada and start building points, and they might get a tag as well.
And when you say we'll be helping you until 11 p.m., you mean the three of us in this room and a lot of other people? Because I don't know that a lot of people expect that when they're trying to get stuff in at 10:30 on the final night, that there's a human on the other side trying to help you out.
Yeah,
So
it will be us. It will be us. NDOW staff will be on the phones and on the computers. All of us are logged in. We call it the war room. Everybody's in one room, and we're helping. We're approving hunter education certificates. We're helping people with applications. We're doing all the different things right up until the end. And that number to call, if you want to call us, is 855-542-6369. Or you can click the support button or the help button on our NDOWlicensing.com, and that goes direct to us. It creates a help ticket. We get the help ticket with your email and all the stuff, and you might just talk to me, Bobby, or Logan if you need it. So.
Yeah, and that for applying from now to then, like, please feel free to call if you need to, if you're running into trouble or something's not working. Hopefully by now a lot of people are comfortable with the system and things are intuitive, but there's people, stand by, happy to help. This is kind of our time to help people apply.
Yeah, applications are one of my favorite things of the year.
Yeah, we love talking about it. We love helping people be successful and hearing all the stories, and then hopefully they're successful in the draw, and we get to see some photos at the end, and or hear some funny stories about whatever, slipping and falling in the snow, or missing a big buck, or getting the big buck, or whatever. So
Going on a moose hunt.
going on a moose hunt. Yep. So, all right, guys, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Lots of information. Again, 855-542-6369, ndowlicensing.com to apply, or ndow.org, outdoor education to find hunter ed classes, ndow.org, hunting to find the top 10 big game resources, all the information, publicly posted data. You can export it, chop it up, put it in your own Excel spreadsheet, whatever you want, put it into AI and say what's my best odds of drawing a tag, anything like that. And yeah, good luck in the draw to you guys, and we'll get you on the next one. That does it for this week's Nevada Wild.
Join us again next week for our next adventure, Nevada Wild. It's a production of the Nevada Department of Wildlife.